What's up, everybody? All right, so here we are, another green day, up $2,200. I'm digging my way out, one day at a time. Now, I was actually up $6,000 today on my best trade, or the stock that I made the most on. I lost $3,000 on another stock, and I lost $1,000 on another. So, it's a day where I sure feel like I could have done a little bit better, but hey, I'm walking away with more money than I started this morning by $2,200, so I can't complain. Green is good, market's still a little choppy, but I'm digging my way out and I'm working my way back up to that red to green line on my own P&L. So we're going to break it all down in today's midday market recap, and as usual, any questions, any comments, leave below and we'll come back and answer them later. All right, everyone, so we're going to jump in here and break down the trades from the day. Today is our 145th trading day of the year, and I'm up $2,292.42. A couple amazing trades on ABIL right off the watch list. Total profit on ABIL, $6,158, which is great. And then I had these two other stocks I traded. I traded IDRA and lost $2,900 on it, and I lost $900 on MTSL. So this would be an awesome day if it weren't for those two trades, but that's not the way it goes. I'm up, net $2,200. Green is good. I'm finishing with more money than I started with. So any day you can say that, you're, doing something right. But we'll break down these trades. So ABIL, this was the one that we really kind of were focused on pre-market. We go back to our scanners here, and every single day starts the same way. It starts by running these scans and looking for which stocks in the market have the potential to move 20 to 30%. That's our job. All right, so I have this scan here. I'm going to run it for 9:22 a.m. At 9:22 a.m., ABIL was our leading gapper. It was gapping up the most out of any other stock in the entire market, gapping up 55%. All right, so it's a big gap. There was news out on it, and it had 167,000 shares of volume pre-market. The float is 795,000 shares. That is a very low float, extremely low. So that's part of why it was already up as much as it was on light volume. So this one I was watching basically for a trade right out of the gates. I mean, I knew it had potential, and my bias was definitely to the long side. However, a little cautiously, because we have seen a couple of stocks in the last few weeks that looked very good just like this, and the bell rings and then they sell off, and they sell off all day long. So I was initially a little bit cautious. My very first trade on this one, I jumped in at, and I have a lot of trades today, as you can see here. So my very first trade, I jumped in at 494 and 495 with 6,000 shares. And I sold it 1 second later at 509. Just like that, I sold half and was up $450. $500 in 1 second, trading the opening range. All right, that's the level of volatility that we have in the market. In that first 1 minute candle, we had 323,000 shares of volume. All right. So I jumped in this at 494, 495, sold half at 509, sold the rest, trying to sell on the ask here and not getting filled, using my hotkey to sell half. I don't get filled, I cancel it. I press it again at 08 to sell half. I don't get filled, I cancel it. I press it again at 07, I press it again at 06, and now I'm filled 450 shares, and I end up selling the rest, basically break even. All right, so on that first trade, I made $600 plus or minus. I then got back in at 510 as it squeezed up right here and started to break over the high. Well, actually, if I go into a 10-second candle, you'll see actually how this looks. So we'll back this out. We'll go back to the open. Let's see. All right, so there's the open. So the open pops up to a high of 515, and then it drops down. As it curled back up, I got back in right here at 509 and 510. I added 6,000 shares, And immediately, I mean, literally, this was moving so fast that, again, a second later, I'm selling half for 10 cents profit. I then sold a little bit more at 23, tried to sell on the ask, wasn't getting filled, sold some at 17. Having a hard time on this one getting filled. Tons of canceled orders. Just my orders were not filling on the ask very well. Sold more at 23 and 11, and then I added back at 30. I sold a second later for a loss at 27. It wasn't holding up, so I got a little nervous and stopped out. Sold a little bit at 34, lots of small orders trying to unwind the position. I then added back at 55 and then sold at 58. This was a very small winner. It didn't really do what I wanted it to do. That was right in here as it was popping up to this level, up to a high of 60. So we saw a little bit of resistance here at 60. We popped up to 60, we dropped all the way down to 33, we came back up to 60 and then dropped again back down here harder to 516. So I sold that position basically break even, and then I added back at 47, and on the trade where I added back at 47, that was right here. All right, see that big spike? So what I saw on this was that we had pulled back and we were consolidating in this kind of wedge. And I thought if we broke over the high of this level here, the psychological $0.50, that we'd have a really good chance of retesting high a day of 60. And that happened instantly. It popped up to a high of 75, and immediately I'm in with 3,000 shares and I'm selling half at 68. I didn't go super heavy on size, but that was a quick winner. So at this point, I'm up on the stock, I don't know, $1,500 or something like that. And then we had IDRA. Now this is kind of an annoying stock because on this one, someone called it out in the room. They said, hey, take a look at IDRA. I took a look at it and I saw that it had just moved up from 610 or 590 up to a high of 650. All right, so I saw it starting to squeeze up. I looked at the chart and I saw that it was a recent reverse split and that it had earnings this morning. So I was like, recent reverse split with earnings, squeezing up right now, I'm gonna jump in. I didn't wait for it to hit the scanners. I just jumped in. And I jumped in with size because oftentimes these stocks move quickly. I got in with 10,000 shares at 53. It popped up to 65 and then it dropped here all the way down to $6. I stopped out at 620 for a, I guess I was getting partial fills. Look at all these partial fills. Just really having a hard time getting filled. But I got out 620, 615, and lost $3,000. So that was disappointing. On this one, I should have waited for it to hit the scanners. I could have waited for a pullback. I just jumped in it because I saw the setup and thought with the recent reverse split and the news that I might be one of the first ones to see a really strong setup. I mean, not the first because it was already up from 580, but I would be getting in early on before the first halt, and then it had this potential to, maybe make a big move. So I was just wrong on this one. So I took my loss on it, which is good. It's sold off even more, and it's actually red on the day. So that is what it is. So at that point, I went from being up $1,800 to down $1,200 on the day, and I was like, frustrating. So next trade was back in ABIL. ABIL was still holding up, so I switched gears, refocused on that stock, jumped in for the break over 550. That was right here as it started to squeeze back up. So I'm in at 550, ended up selling half at 554, wasn't really holding up, kind of stopped out, got back in at 569, 570. That's as it's starting to curl up right here. It pops up to 607. I'm scalping in that area, getting in, getting out. This is kind of what I do on these types of stocks. Ends up making this nice squeeze up to a high of $7. Again, kind of scalping in that area, getting in, getting out. So I make my way up to about $1,000 in the green. I make about $2,000 on that series of trades. So stacking up more profits on ABIL and starting to recover the losses on IDRA. And then I jumped into MTSL. So MTSL, this one pops up, and I jump into this kind of aggressively with 9,000 shares. I then try to add at 45. My order gets rejected because I have my 10,000 share max size set. Or maybe it was 42 or whatever it was. But anyways, this thing pops up, it hits 42, and it just sells off. So in this case, the reason I got in as high as I did is because I was seeing the volume increasing here, and I kind of thought that we were maybe going to go into a parabolic type of move where it just starts going almost straight up and then halting on a circuit breaker and continuing higher. As it turns out, I bought it almost near the highs, and then it sold off. So I lost $900 on that, but the risk reward there to me was still fine, because if it had continued and the momentum continued, we would have seen it break over 250, 260, 275. So it easily could have been a 20, 30 cent win as it started to really go parabolic. If it had gotten halted and opened 5, 10% higher, again, that would have been awesome, but it just didn't happen. So stopped out of that one in this range before it made this drop here, which was good. So kept a tight stop on it. Curled back up a little bit, but didn't hold up super well. Then switched gears back to ABIL, the stock that's really doing the best. And on this one, I was kind of bummed out because it was doing this little consolidation here on the 5-minute chart. And so I jumped in at 60, 60, and 65, 9,000 shares. Really stepping up to the plate here for the break over this line, this pivot level. It breaks and hits 88. So I'm up 20 cents a share on 9,000 shares. It's $1,800. It then drops down to this level, and I sell 90% of the position for a very small profit, and then it squeezes all the way up to 750. What I thought, so this is an example where I had the right idea, but my timing was wrong. What I thought was going to happen was this move right here, and it popped up, it pulled back, and then it broke. So right idea, wrong timing. Made some money on it, but not as much as I would have liked to have. And I scalped it up around 740, 745, and then stopped out of the rest at 742 and 734. So overall, $6,158 on ABIL straight off the watch list. That was the best trade. That was the best one, easiest one to trade today. 11 million shares of volume, up 116% right now. MTSL had potential and kept the stop relatively tight for the share size, so I'm okay with that. I didn't get in it sooner because I didn't really think it would be that strong, and then once it was really starting to show strength, I jumped on, but maybe a little too high. So, again, hindsight's 2020. IDRA, this one, I should have just waited for it to hit my my scanner that I would usually use for these types of stocks. Jumping in it where I did, let's see, I'm not sure if it was even on the scanner. So in hindsight there, I definitely should have just waited, and I got to be a little better about that. So following the rules and sticking to the watch list paid off today. A couple deviations cost me, but again, it's a green day. I went into the red and recovered it, and finishing up $2,200. So I'm happy with that. And what was I going to do? I was going to look at another stock, but let's see. I was looking at this reversal trade on WRD. This was on our reversal scanner. And this one I also annoyed with because I ended up taking the trade on MTSL and skipping this one. But I was watching on this doji candle for the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, which was over 1992. It pops from 1992 right here up to 1930. That's a 40-cent pop. It dropped back down to $20.31. It dropped back down to $20 and kind of consolidated there. So it might have only been a 10 or 15-cent winner, but really could have been an easy win. And I just got distracted on MTSL. So kind of a bummer there. Ultimately, MTSL had more potential for sure. This wasn't going to squeeze 10, 20% or do anything crazy, but still a little bummed that I missed it. So, you know what? It's the second green day in a row, 145th trading day of the year. I'm still down about 8,000 on the month. I need probably 2 more decent days to get myself out of the hole. It could happen in one good day. That's possible. But, hopefully by the either end of this week or by early next week, I'll be out of the hole. And then I can spend the rest of the month trying to build up my profits. So, I've got a little ways to go, but That's all right. This is, the way it is as a trader. It's a couple steps forward, couple steps back. Just keep grinding. So I'm happy to have a green day and looking forward to teaching class today. So class starts in about half an hour at noontime in our August live trading classes room. It's not the mentor sessions rooms. For those of you guys that log in there, that's not the right room. It's in a separate room. So for Warrior Pro students, classes every day for the month of August at noontime. All right, so we'll be at it in about half an hour, continuing where we left off yesterday. All right, everyone, so I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and most of you, I'll see you in class in about half an hour. If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.